race is to be held next year, even though it says 2013 on it. And there's also the shellfish ordinance, ordinance number 3, at least on the tab. Those 4 items.
Which of the council?
Motion to waive the rules and accept those items for the agenda.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Public comment? Bless you. Bless you. Nobody's got else. Rob Germanaro.
Thank you, Mr. Council President. Rob Germanaro, 2 Ashland Street. Good evening, members of the City Council. I'm standing here before you tonight. I expected a second reading on the issue on the parking at Ashland Street. I realize the originator of that is not here tonight. I might add his first absence in 8 years. So having said that, there's another issue in regards to parking spaces at 345 Merrimack Street, which are behind on the private property, which is a totally separate issue. I understand, according to the agenda, that it's going to be possibly referred to license and permits, or possibly public safety. Thank you, Mr. Earls. If that's the case, I'd like to make it a matter of public record that the neighbors would like to be informed of that from Ashland Court down to Merrimack Street. There's obviously already an issue on the street in regards to parking, and I don't see where it would be a good idea to have more off-street parking of unregistered vehicles when in fact there's an issue on the street that would just add to that problem. So if you could give me some consideration for that, I would appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, can you read the last name? Depend right on name by what?
Yes, my last name is Rokin. Thank you, Mr. President, members of the council. So just essentially, I'm here to reiterate what Rob has said, that there's a legitimate safety situation due to the parking on Ashland Street. So earlier this year, I almost got into an accident pulling out of the driveway where I was blocked on both sides, and then the car almost collided with my vehicle. I went to see the garage owners, and we had a situation. So essentially, there's no way that kind of to ask for the vehicles to be moved, and I believe without the parking, the rules are such that they're able to use the space, but it's for them it's a public use of public space for business interests. For us, it's a safety issue. So I'd like to request that you please kind of take that into consideration and help us as neighbors.
Thank you very much. Mike Lucy.
Sir, thank you very much for having me tonight. As was originally brought up, or just brought up recently, Newburyport Youth Hockey, I'm president of Newburyport Youth Hockey. We're hoping to do a tag day on November 23rd, Saturday morning, in front of some of the local businesses here in town, and therefore we're seeking approval to be able to do that. Some of you know we're a 503c nonprofit, so the money raised with Tag Day will help us as far as skill development and offset the costs of the program. So we appreciate your consideration. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for coming. That's it for public comment. Move on to consent agenda. Just like to welcome new council up, Mr. Vogel, Council Vogel, and Council Junta here today. Welcome. Welcome to council meeting. Congratulations on your election. Move on to consent agenda.
Mr. President, the consent agenda consists this evening of the approval of the minutes for October 28, 2013. There are 5 communications. The first communication is Whittier Regional VOTEC Annual Operating Report has been removed at the request of Councilor Herzog. Communication number 2 is the National Multiple Sclerosis Society 2014 walk on Saturday, April 12, 2014. Is to be referred to public safety. Third is the movable sign application for Exit Realty Group on Merrimack Street. That's going to license and permits. Communication number 4, request for parking spaces at 345 Merrimack Street, Phil and Sons Auto Repair. That's a change. You'll see it says license and permits. That's been changed to public safety. And communication number 5, retirement board expense budget calendar 2014 is received and filed. There is one appointment, first reading, Margaret Cobb, 22 Goldsmith Drive, to the Disabilities Commission until October 1st, 2016. And that change, two changes, is the consent agenda this evening.
Anyone wish to take anything else on the consent agenda? What is the wish of the council?
Motion approved.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Consent agenda approved. Move on to communication number 1.
Communication number 1 is a letter from William P. DeRosa, Superintendent, the annual operating report to the city council members, and it talks about a page and a half of their annual report. Would you like me to read the whole thing, Mr.
Move to receive and file.
Well, maybe you could read the enrollment, the report enrollment.
The October 1st, 2012 day school enrollment, grade 9, boys 5, girls 0, grade 10, none, grade 11, 7 boys, 3 girls, grade 12, 4 boys, 1 girl, total of 20. Graduates 2013, 3. Cost to Newburyport for the school year was $275,985.
Entertain a motion now.
Move to receive and file.
Second.
Discussion. Councilor Herzog.
Thank you, Mr. President. As the council knows, for the past couple of years, we've always talked about the Whittier budget in the budget season. And I thank Superintendent DeRosa for bringing this forward because, well, I'm seeing a number that I'm not used to seeing, which is the total per pupil cost of a Newburyport student. I did the math, and if you take the $275,000 and change divided by the 20, you get $13,799 per student from Newburyport to Whittier School. $13,799. Well, I was curious, Mr. President, what it costs per student in Newburyport and what it costs for area schools. So, with the help of Peter Lombardi, I went to the state DOE website. Newburyport as a district, I can't get it down to the high school level, but Newburyport as a district per pupil in 2012 was $13,622. So Whittier per pupil in Newburyport for those 20 students is $13,799. District-wide in Newburyport, we're talking $13,622. So it's clearly much less for just a high school comparison in Newburyport High School. Further, Mr. President, if you'll indulge me, I went to Pentucket and I went to Triton, and I looked at those district-wide numbers per pupil, just in calendar year 2012. Triton district-wide is $12,748, and Pentucket district-wide is $11,821. For reasons I can't explain, for reasons I don't know, because I'm not an analytical person, and I don't understand the state formulas, Triton and Pentucket district-wide are spending far less per student than Newburyport is spending, although I do I congratulate the Newburyport School Department for spending less district-wide than what Whittier is spending for just a high school. And I guess I encourage the school departments in both Newburyport and Whittier to work at trying to reduce those numbers to make it maybe more in line with some of the abutting school districts. Thank you.
Further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Move on to communication 6, with the final.
It reads, as president and members of the City Council, Newburyport Youth Hockey would like to hold a tag day on Saturday, November 23rd from approximately 7:30 a.m. to noontime. Locations will be local stores around Newburyport downtown area who will approve participation. Money raised will be used to support youth hockey and skill development programs for ages 5 to 13. Thank you for your consideration. Michael Lucy, President.
Motion approved.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Move on to appointments.
Appointment second reading, Anya Graney Elroy, 43 Purchase Street, Emma Andrews Library, till October 30th, 2014. 2 reappointments, David Deluski, 334R Merrimack Street, to the Tree Commission, and Sheila Tenter, 10 Dexter Street, to the same Tree Commission, both until November 1st, 2015.
Move to approve collectively.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Roll call, sorry.
Council Herzog.
Yes.
Council Hutchinson.
Yes.
Council Sullivan.
Yes.
Council Cameron.
Yes.
Council Connell.
Yes.
Council Cronin.
Yes.
Councilor Earls.
Yes.
Council Harquist.
Yes.
Council O'Brien.
Yes. Move on to orders. Order number 1 is the late file.
Order number 1 is a late file. It reads as follows, that the city council allow the Friends of the Newburyport Council on Aging the placement of duck box at Cushing Park, located on the 10th Street sign for an additional year, submitted to Council Gregory B. Earls.
Motion approved.
Second. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Move on to ordinance.
Ordinance is, second reading ordinance number 1. Section 13, 180 resident parking, add G to State Street. Beginning at 184 State Street, proceeding southerly to the end of said State Street on the westerly side, submitted Gregory B. Earls.
Motion to table.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Ordinance 2.
Again, section 13-180 resident parking, G2 Ashland Street, beginning at the lower corner of Ashland Court, proceeding northerly on Ashland Street to Merrimack Street,
Motion
both
table.
sides. Motion table.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ordinance 3.
Again, resident parking, 13-180 Winter Street, beginning at the corner of Washington Street, proceeding southerly on Winter Street to High Street, submitted Robert J. Crone.
Motion approved.
Second.
Discussion. Roll call.
Councilor Herzog.
Yes.
Councilor Hutchinson.
Yes.
Councilor Sullivan.
Yes.
Councilor Cameron.
Yes.
Councilor Connell.
Yes.
Councilor Cronin.
Yes.
Councilor Derrivan is not here. Councilor Earls.
Yes.
Councilor Harquist.
Yes.
Councilor O'Brien.
Yes. Ordinance 4.
Section 13-181 parking lots, add to G, no person shall park a vehicle longer than 1 hour and 4 spaces on the westerly side of the Waterfront Trust lot, immediately adjacent to the easterly side of Brown's Wharf Building, map 48, lot 25, and in the 4 spaces in the northerly end of said lot adjacent to the boardwalk, submitted Robert J. Cronin.
Motion approved. Second.
Discussion. Roll call.
Councilor Herzog.
Yes.
Councilor Hutchinson.
Yes.
Councilor Sullivan.
Yes.
Councilor Cameron.
Yes.
Councilor Connell.
Yes.
Councilor Cronin.
Yes.
Councilor Earls.
Yes.
Councilor Harquist.
Yes.
Councilor O'Brien.
Yes. One big item, budget finance.
Nothing to report.
General education,
Nothing to report.
license and permit.
Motion to remove shellfish in designated areas ordinance, amendment to an ordinance.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Motion to approve, same.
Second.
Discussion. Councilor
The committee met, license permit met this evening, unanimously voted 3-0. Basically, this is taking the state language to make the constable's position something to actually, for the constable, something to actually follow. So this is 3-0. It's pretty much boilerplate, as I understand. There were some questions, but it's all fairly self-explanatory.
Any further discussion? Roll call.
To approve ordinance number 5, so-called, Chapter 4 entitled Boats, Docks, and Waterways. Councilor Herzog.
Yes.
Councilor Hutchinson.
Yes.
Councilor Sullivan.
Yes.
Councilor Cameron.
Yes.
Councilor Connell.
Yes.
Councilor Cronin.
Yes.
Councilor Earls.
Yes.
Councilor Harquist.
Yes.
Councilor O'Brien.
Yes. Anything else? Councilor Rose?
No, thank you.
Thank you. Neighborhood city services,
Nothing at this time.
planning and development. Nothing? Public safety.
Motion to remove the letter regarding speeding on Turkey Hill Road.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Motion receive and file.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Anything else?
Number 6, the Newbury PTO Spring Fever 5K.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion approved.
Second.
Discussion? Council Cronin?
In your packet, there was another submittal that was in there, probably on an error by probably me.
I'm not sure about that.
Neither am I, but I'll take the hit.
I do think it was you.
The date on here was, I have it confirmed, it's the Sunday, May 4th, 2014, not 2013. And this is a race that has occurred annually for the last 3 years. There's a map there. Police are involved, and they've given their blessing.
Further discussion? Council Campbell?
Thank you, Mr. President. Just a comment, and I'm certainly going to approve this. At some point, if I had a little more energy, I'd do a calendar of these. There's so many races going on, and every time I'm stuck in traffic on a Sunday, I have a vague recollection of approving these, but it'd be great to look at them as a whole, and I'm sure councils probably get some feedback like I do from people who are, at some point, maybe it's 5 more races, maybe it's 10 more races, maybe it's 20 more races. There ought to be a point where we say we got to kind of rein it in. But I'm not saying that about this particular one.
Thank you.
I believe in fun, and I believe in running.
Council Cronin?
Thank you, Councilor Cameron. I was going to wait for the good of the order for this, but no time like the present. I've been in discussions with Director of Policy Lombardi in the Mayor's office, and we are planning to sit down and there is a calendar in the clerk's office of the events, but we are becoming overburdened, as you have said, and we have to take a look at this from, we've been taking a look at it from the fun aspect, now we have to take a look at it from maybe the business aspect of the community, because I know you've been stuck, other people have been stuck, Hutchinson has said as much. So we are going to take a good look at this in the very near future and probably come up with some guidelines for how many we're going to have.
Thank you. Anything else? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Anything else?
Last one, motion to approve item 7, Buck Street stop intersection.
Second.
I'm sorry, remove from committee.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Now we'll take a motion.
Motion to approve.
Still second.
Any discussion? Council Cronin?
Just quickly, this is a intersection right near the playground at Cushing Park, and everything in the area is governed by stop signs, and this, for some reason, has been an orphan there, and it just looks like a real good idea, just to kind of define that intersection right at the corner of where the swings are, so I'd urge approval.
Any further discussion? Council Sullivan?
I would just like to add to that, I grew up across the street, and I don't ever remember a stop sign being on that corner. But some 40, maybe 50 years ago, there was a young girl that was killed on the other intersection of Washington and Buck. And I think that once the stop sign goes up, it's not going to deter people from running through that stop sign. So I think it's important that the police department be notified of this change once that sign is up, and then step up enforcement. Thank you.
Thank you. Anything else? Roll call.
This is Buck Street ordinance. Councilor Herzog.
Yes.
Councilor Hutchinson.
Yes.
Councilor Sullivan.
Yes.
Councilor Cameron.
Yes.
Councilor Connell.
Yes.
Counselor Cronin,
Yes.
Counselor Earls,
Yes.
Counselor Harquist,
Yes.
Counselor Bryan.
Yes.
First reading.
And Council One?
That is all.
Thank you, sir. Public utilities,
Nothing tonight.
rules committee,
Nothing to report.
good of the order. Council Herzog.
Thank you, Mr. President. The end of our calendar year approaches next month, and I'd rather get this over with tonight rather than waiting until the next meeting. My recollection, looking at the council calendar, that we had 2 meetings in December, or is our last meeting on Tuesday, December 9th. If we do have 2 meetings in December, I'd like to introduce the motion to not meet on December 31st, which would be the last Monday of the last
30th.
December 30th. So my suggestion is, I was looking at past calendars of the council, both last year and the year before. Our final meeting was the second Monday of December, which this year would be December 9th. So that would be my motion. That would be to have that on last meeting. I'd like to meet the 30th.
I'll second it for discussion purposes.
Any further discussion? If we cancel a meeting, all we can have one, we can always schedule one, you know, if it's sufficient, it has to be done before the end of the year, because next year will be new council losing 5 members.
I would just maybe look to the committee chairs, just to see what they have that they want to get out as far as readings. But other than that,
Council Cameron?
Thanks, Mr. President. I would just assume keep it on there. I think there's always some cleanup at the end of a calendar year, and I think with a new council coming in, you know, I don't think we should really roll anything over, because it'll be a different council, so I think keep it on. We don't know what's gonna go into committee at the November meeting and the first December meeting, and I'd rather at least have it booked and, you know, we have it there and see what things look like on the 9th.
Yeah, this seems to me to be something within the jurisdiction of the council president. If in his judgment, we need that second meeting, he can call us in for it. And if in his judgment, it's a light enough agenda or an unnecessary meeting, then he can call it off. And I'm sure that we all would be happy to have him make that judgment on our behalf.
Motion on the floor? Vote on the motion?
There's a motion with a second to cancel, I think, 12:30, the meeting of the city council on 12:30.
Roll call?
Okay, there's a motion to cancel December 30th's meeting. Councilor Herzog.
Yes.
Councilor Hutchinson.
No.
Councilor Sullivan.
No.
Councilor Cameron.
No.
Councilor Connell.
No.
Councilor Cronin.
no.
Councilor Earls.
No.
Councilor Harquist.
No.
Councilor Bryan.
Yes.
Well, I guess that's done.
That's awesome. Oh, that was great.
Motion passes. No.
It's a moot point.
Anything else for the good of the order? Take a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you.
That was funny. And you know. Oh, yeah.
I know, I meant that. I was on mute last week. I was. Well, you know what happened? So they turned you up and they turned Ari up. And Ari